getting to use AI. This is the most consequential time in our lives. We literally should be taking pictures of everything around us because it's all going to change. And the good thing is, in the past, where a lot of people didn't have the money to buy computers, a lot of people did not have the means to use computers or even understand how computers are being used or what it could do, or the internet, what the internet could do to transform our lives. We are at such a pivotal time because with AI, you all have access to it. This is like intelligence in your pocket, intelligence beyond what you could ever imagine in your pocket. And a lot of people have utopian and dystopian thoughts when it comes to AI. I will categorize myself just to start that I am 80% utopian because I think AI could truly transform everybody's lives in the world and beyond. And I have some 20% dystopian thoughts around AI. My utopian thoughts obviously outweigh my dystopian thoughts, but today our conversation is about AI and the jobs of the future. When you think about AI and you think about the jobs of the future, everything you hear in the news all points to AI is going to take our jobs. AI is going to create mass unemployment. AI is going to lead us to universal basic income because we have no jobs. But that is a very condensed thought. We can spread out that thought to what is a job? Is your job a bunch of tasks? Or does your job encompass multiple things? And the moment you start taking stock of what you do every single day and what can be automated and what cannot, the moment you start taking stock of how many hours do I truly work in a day and what do I achieve and how many things can I get to do if I have the intelligence of AI that could automate my mundane tasks. At that point, you realize that AI would not take our jobs. It would modernize our jobs. It would modernize the way we work. It would create more opportunities. And this and many more is what we'll be getting to in our session for today. We'll do an introduction. We'll talk about AI and how it's changing work today, the concept of jobs versus tasks. We'll also talk about the niche areas in the AI era. Beyond that, we'll also talk through what are the short and long-term focus that you all could take from this. What can you do today and what can you plan to do for the future? How can you prepare yourself for the short term and prepare yourself for the long term? And we'll conclude. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to take those as well. So will AI take our jobs? If there's anything that I would like for you to get out of today's session, this 25 minutes chat that we have, AI will not take your job. The AI will take the jobs of people who are not using AI. Because you realize that the quality of work of some folks who are using AI is better than the quality of work of folks who are not using AI because it's taking them a lot longer to come up with their deep quality work, but you are able to turn things around faster. But this is the most important question. In many cases, a lot of people ask, well, will AI take my job? Today, I am a radiologist. Will AI take my job? Well, I would say that if you're a radiologist, if you're able to see 5 patients today, in the future, you may be able to see 100 patients in a day. And if you look at what the net benefit of that means, you are going to be saving more lives. So every major technological shift that we have seen in life, especially dating back to like the industrial era or the industrial revolution, has triggered some form of fear. I want to talk a little bit about just this concept of an industrial era and just take a point in time. Before cars, when there were only horses and carts on the road, there was no need for a Department of Transportation. There was no need for driver's license. There was no need for a training institute for people to learn how to drive. There were no needs for car upholsteries. There were no need for instrumentation boxes in cars. There were no need for some metal and car engines and all of the various items that make a car to actually run. Tabitha, I'm getting some echoes. I don't know if there's someone who's currently unmuted. There were no need for all of that. But guess what? With the Industrial Revolution, created more opportunities, more booms. There were some car companies that came and have since been acquired. Some run out of business, but some stayed. There were some folks who never thought of the idea of having a car dealership, but now we have car dealership. We have a new car dealership. We have a used car dealership. There were folks who never had to learn how to service cars because there was no concept of a car, but now they understand how to service cars. There were some folks who never had to learn how to pump a tire. Now we rarely do that anymore because a lot of people pump their tires at home or work with folks who help you pump your tires. That became jobs that were created, all because of this one thing called a car. I say all of that to mean the same thing will happen in the era of AI. If you've been following the news and watching a lot about AI, you've been hearing thoughts about, hey, Google is planning a project called the Project Suncatcher. Or we have likes of Starlink and other companies are trying to put internet as close to the orbit as much as possible, close to space. But when you think about those evolutions or those technological innovations, you have to think the long breadth of it. What are the roles of people who are moving objects around the space? What job did that job exist a year ago? Did that job exist 2 years ago? Who are the folks that these individuals are training? What is the background that they have? So I say all of this to mean if we are moving to space, the materials that we will need on Earth or wherever else to create the materials that will stay in space, there are some folks who are doing research on that today. There are some folks who are learning how to move objects all around space. There are some folks who are learning how to code orbital objects. There are some folks who are learning how to transmit data from space down to Earth. I say all of that to mean that there are jobs that are being created right now that we don't see. And some of those jobs are being automated faster than we can even imagine. So it just takes for us to understand what do we do today and what does that translate to tomorrow. So is AI changing the work today? Absolutely. Hopefully you all have heard about Gemini. You've heard about Anthropic's Claude. You've heard about Perplexity. You've heard about OpenAI's ChatGPT. These are tools that a lot of people use today. There were times where many folks wanted to be a software engineer, but now AI is writing a lot of code. Does that mean a software engineering field is no more a field that you should be in? The answer is no. But it means that a lot of people can move from writing code and doing a lot of deep thinking when it comes to understanding where this code fits in to having an AI agent do a lot of that for them while they focus on truly architecting for edge cases or architecting for solutions to truly scale. So AI economy is creating a bunch of opportunities for us. It's creating an opportunity for us to actually go way deeper than we could ever go before, or do more advanced innovation than we could ever have done before. And in areas like infrastructure, you all hear about NVIDIA being the most valuable company in the world. Why? Because they have chipsets. You hear Google ranking to like the second valuable company in the world because Google has footprints in the entire value chain. And what does all of this mean? Each value chain creates opportunities for people who are feeding that value chain or benefiting that value chain. And those areas include infrastructure, platforms, and application, and including data as well. AI, I would also say, is changing the way work is done. There are times where I actually will give a good example here. Thinking through this, a few months ago, I went on a I went on an exploration to rebuilding the website for for my foundation, Cyber Data Foundation. And I thought to myself, should I move away from WordPress and go use a SaaS provider like Wix? Tabitha, I'm still
Oh,
hearing
you've
some.
seen it. Some laughed, some questioned.
Sorry about that.
No problem. And I was thinking to myself, should I go use a SaaS provider like Wix, or should I try this agentic AI capabilities? At that time, there was no anti-gravity. There was Claude, and there was a flagship product with Cursor. So I decided to pick up Cursor. And I thought to myself, I want to build something that I could at some point open source. Having the mind of an architect, I said, hey, I'm going to build my version of WordPress, something that I could eventually open source. All it took me was 3 weeks without writing any line of code. I built the foundation website, cyberdatafoundation.org. It's not just a website, it's a backend that's a content management site as well. And I did all of this by using my pen and paper, by using Gemini, by using Cursor, and I architected all of this and pushed it to development, and that's what you see today. I say all of this to imply that AI is changing the way we work today. If I were to write the code for my foundation website, I probably would have paid some developer a ton of money. And beyond paying a ton of money, I'm going to pay maintenance and retainership services. But I could do all of that by myself today and also provide value to those who do not want to go through my 3 weeks of work. That right there is an opportunity in front of us all to leverage the tools that are in front of you. There are people who have built solutions and platforms that are making money from it, but they know nothing about software engineering. So I say all of that to imply that work is becoming more flexible, it's becoming more digital, and it's becoming more outcomes driven, not really tasks. Look at what you do now as a project. What is the outcome that I'm wanting to get from it? And how can I use AI to do it? Because the truth is, a lot of the information that man has is available with computers now, with artificial intelligence. One of the major misconceptions that I would also call out is the fact that AI will replace entire jobs. But as I've shared earlier, there are some repetitive tasks that you do today. For example, you may get email reports that are really long. AI can do a pretty job of summarizing those. That is a task that maybe would have taken you 30 minutes, but AI can compress that to 10 minutes or less. There might be some creative work that you had to do before. I mean, like, for example, we create comics for secondary school students. Some of those comics can now be created with AI, using some of the AI tools that are out there. And there are some human-centered tasks. So one of my popular chats with Gemini is when I need to write something, I mean, in a high-pressure environment, sometimes I may be conveying more emotion or less emotion than I'm supposed to. When I put it through ChatGPT or through Gemini, I could ask myself, hey, I could ask the tool, how does this read? Does it read very, very aggressive? Does it read too soft? Does it convey the message that I'm wanting to convey? One important note that I would like for you all to take as well in the concept of AI is we are at a time in technology where a lot of our mentors, especially the really popular ones, some people want to be the next Steve Jobs, some people want to be the next Elon Musk. A lot of these individuals have what I will call a personality type. They have a certain principles that they use and they live by. Elon Musk, as an example, is known to live by the concept of first principles. We have Sergey and Larry Page of Google that live by certain principles. We are at an incredible time with technology where you can tell your AI to adopt a persona and then ask that persona to convey, hey, what would Demis Hassabis think of this? If you take a persona of Demis Hassabis, how would this individual parse out this problem that I'm trying to solve? And this is something that I really think that everyone needs to take advantage of, especially when you're thinking about AI tools or wanting to use AI for any work that you're looking to do. So when AI handles routines or when AI shifts value upward, what you're seeing is you're seeing a lot of speed with AI, you're seeing automation with AI, but there are areas where humans excel. At least as of now, there are times where you need to convey emotion. You need to create. You need to think through ethics. A few weeks ago, I was thinking through a concept. If you all have heard about the concept of a Claude bot, which has become really popular lately, where AI agents are talking to each other, it made me think that perhaps we need to understand and start seeing AI as an entity. And if truly AI is an entity, there are some founding principles that every human needs to comply with. If you're religious, you could say, hey, thou shalt not steal, because it's universally known that humans should not steal. The government enforces and they play an oversight role for that. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not do certain things are things that humans live by. But if you translate that to an AI, first, if an AI is going to go out there, specifically an AI agent is going to go out there and do some work, perhaps you tie that work to a human or to a company. So if an AI becomes an entity needs to be registered just the same way. You register a domain name, you register an entity to an individual or a company. And then there are certain laws that you put in there. For example, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not heal without authorization. Because you can imagine every time you chat with an AI, it learns something. Every time you realize an AI agent has gone rogue and it's able to heal itself, it knows how it was killed, so it knows how to not be killed. And you know what that means in a dystopian world of AI. So I want to cover a few niche areas. I put all of this as just thoughts because all of this will change. But if you're thinking about fields to specialize in the world of AI, one area where I think AI is truly going to transform the world that we live in is in healthcare. I'll give you a stat. One of my friends was sharing with me that they've been watching really closely some stats around cancer research. Specifically last year, the amount of patents that have been filed in North America for cancer research around cancer and cancer research was double what was filed the year before. In China, that number also increased. I believe it was a little bit over double. And a lot of this innovation and this intervention was mainly because of AI. But we look at that as like research. But if you're going to translate if you're able to, if you're wanting to translate research to actual innovations like cancer drugs or cancer treatments and all of those types of things, you have to look at it even further beyond that. AI will transform healthcare in the way we diagnose cancer. AI will transform healthcare in the way we treat Alzheimer's, in the way we treat diseases that man has never been able to treat before, but we've only been able to manage. AI will transform the way radiologists work today, medical imaging, because AI would understand the patterns, would isolate areas that you need to isolate and focus on the areas that you need to truly help this patient live longer. I do believe that AI is going to transform healthcare to the point where death would no longer be something that we accept. Death could potentially become a choice. AI is going to transform patient monitoring. A lot of people use Aura rings to monitor their sleep. A lot of people use, glucose monitors and glucose patches. AI is going to transform how all of that works because you can understand, hey, what are the trends this individual is seeing and how can this individual change their lifestyle or change what they do to live a longer life, a longer and healthier life. AI is going to transform treatment planning. I know folks within my life who have been diagnosed with terminal diseases who have been told that, hey, you may probably only live for a few more days, but they've lived longer years because of the advancement that we've seen in technology. So if you're wanting to sink your time in an area, healthcare is definitely an area where the work and the advancements in AI align really strongly. And it's also fulfilling to understand that the work that you do is making people's uncles and aunties and sisters and brothers and fathers and mothers live longer. AI is going to advance education as well. This is an area that I'm really passionate about, but I cannot spend too much time on this. But I do think that the ethos of education, where you go to school and to go learn a degree or to go get a degree, is going to be turned upside down. I think there are some fundamental human qualities that we need to develop, like creativity, understanding of multiple languages, understanding, living a life of purpose, and what we truly go to school to learn is working hand in hand with AI to get the best out of AI, to understand how AI can actually help us do work faster and learn faster. Just a quick second here. Tabitha, just give me about 2 minutes. I have a little bit of a technical glitch here. Just 2 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. So as we wait for him to come back, let me know in the chats, what are we learning? What have you learned so far? Like any major takeaways from Dr. Biodun's session? Let me see in the chat. Let me see. I want to know the major takeaways that you're getting from the session. Or are you not getting anything? Are we learning something? Are we not learning something? Okay, let me be more direct. Are we learning something? Let me know yes or no. Are we learning? Okay, I see impactful. I see, AI improving effects on all areas of life. Love the fact that he touched on healthcare, been looking for how to bridge AI in that sector. Okay, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Bello, let me see if we have more. Okay, I see most of us are interested about the health, the health side of this conversation. Okay. Francis tells us, takeaway is how to better harness AI. Okay. I'm glad that you guys are following. I'm glad that's a good sign that you guys are following.
Right, I'm back.
Okay.
And sorry about that. All right. So for education, there's just a lot that's going to happen. The educational system that we have today is sometimes not tailored to every individual. I know there are some that are more visual learners. There are some who learn by listening. There are some who learn by feeling and experiencing. And AI is going to change that. AI is going to focus on, oh, what's this person's learning persona and how can I align this person's learning persona to how I can get the best out of them and make them truly learn. AI will change what we do in agriculture. You have things like precision farming and crop yielding and soil analysis, things that you could go take a soil sample and take you a few weeks before you get the full analysis of the soil sample. Well, all of that will be changed via AI because if you have the right, you take the soil, have the right models that can analyze the soil, they can truly predict. AI would reduce the destruction of crops because if you understand yield, you understand the effort that you put before the yield, and you understand who are we truly producing this for. There was a fascinating analysis that the CEO of DeepMind had shared. His name is Demis Hassabis. And I want to share this with you because it aligns pretty strongly with agriculture. One of the things that we know for a fact that AI needs is energy. To train the models that we work with today and to train the next and the better models, we require more energy. So if we're trying to be very linear in our thinking, we're like, okay, what is needing this energy? Well, the data centers are needing the energy because there are multiple computers coming and working hand in hand to truly train these models. All right, if we're going to need a lot of energy, and we know sometimes we may live in a country where the national grid is always falling, so we're not generating enough energy. How do we get energy? Well, let's take our linear thinking one step further. If we take our linear thinking one step further, we're like, okay, what are the best ways to generate energy? If you read about energy, you would know that there's been thoughts about, okay, you get energy from the dam, or you could get energy by doing nuclear fusion. But there's a reason why you don't do nuclear fusion. You don't do nuclear fusion because we consider it unsafe. It has radioactive effects. It could be unsafe for the humans around it. If the experiment goes wrong, things could go wrong. Well, what are other things that you need for a data center? Well, you need to cool the data center. And sometimes when you're cooling the data center, what do you need? You need water. There's also a fascinating fact that this Earth is surrounded by more water than advanced AI, where we're wanting to solve for energy. In us wanting to solve for energy, for energy closer to the reactor. If you say, what's the world's largest nuclear reactor? That is the sun. The sun is the world's largest nuclear reactor. Like for billions of years that the sun has existed, it has never died. Or energy, what else can we solve for? You truly know that the water that we are surrounded by in Earth, salt water, potable water, does not exist. The technology actually exists. There's desalination, and desalination consumes a tremendous amount of energy. So what if we solve for energy? We now have abundant energy across Earth. Does that mean we can truly solve for water as well? Because we have abundant energy, we can have desalination factories all around us, and we can solve for potable water. So if you look at perspective, I just talked about problem and solution, but what I didn't talk about is the various steps that in us searching for the best version of AI, what the opportunities it will provide for us in terms of abundance. We haven't if we talk about the various steps it will take for us to the innovations that are yet to be seen by man to take data centers to the sun, and the education and the type of skill set that you would need to be that type of person that's part of that mission or part of that initiative of solving for energy or solving for water or solving for food or food crisis. You then start seeing how AI can fit in and where you can fit in based on the part of the world or part of the problems in this world that you're looking and truly passionate about solving for. So I just want to put that in there as AI is an incredible force multiplier for us all as humans. So to answer the question, AI will not take our jobs. AI will transform the way we do things today. And the best lesson or the best thing you can do for yourself today is use it. There's this concept of technology intensity. Use it like this is the only thing that you, but don't just use it to play, use it to solve problems. Look at the problems around you today, because I can bet you around us, we see, a lot of us see problems, but the solutions to those problems is not $1 million funding. A solution to that problem is a human or a group of humans coming together to say that I truly care to solve for this problem. So I will put a few short-term and long-term plans. I'll just read this out. So humans should learn to work with AI, not compete against it. I have met with folks who are doing front-end work and back-end work, and what they typically tell me is, oh, no, I do this all by my head. I have no respect for that. I want you to use your head, but use AI to supplement it. Let's focus on AI literacy. Every single person you know, even your parents who aren't using AI today, have them try Gemini, have them try Anthropic's Claude or ChatGPT, all the AI tools. Ask automate the work that you do. Quality of work with actual tasks. And long-term plan, let's focus on leading and managing intelligence, because this, or artificial intelligence, because this, again, as I said earlier, is the most consequential becoming a thing. So if you're thinking about, oh, I want to be in the cutting edge, start learning robotics, and you don't need to go to a school. You could learn robotics with the AI tools that are already in front of you. So the future of work is not about jobs disappearing, but about how work evolves. And the job of tomorrow belongs to those who move with this change and not against it. Thank you all very much. I apologize for having to pause for about 2 minutes because of technical difficulties. But I hope you all heard. And let me know if I can be of help.
Hello. Are you still here with us? Hello, Dr. Abiodun. Are you still here with us? I didn't hear the last thing you said. I don't know if it's my network or. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, please thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay, you guys can hear me. Okay, maybe it's a network issue. Thank you so much, Dr. Biodun, for this session. I hope you can still hear me. This was really timely, and I'm pretty sure that we all have learned a lot from this session. Have we? Have we learned a lot from this session? Let me know in the chat, And so I want to quickly make sure so if you have any questions for Dr. Biodo, you can drop them in the Q&A so that maybe when we have time to do the questions, we can, throw the questions at him. Because I don't see any questions at the moment, but we're happy to take them after. Yeah. So I'll go to the next person, the next speaker. Before I go, let me confirm again. Dr. Abiola, are you still with me? Okay. Are you there? Okay,
Yes,
okay,
I can
okay.
hear you. I don't know if you cannot hear me, but I can hear you.
Okay, I was like nudging you before. I'm not sure if you had me. Yes, I don't know if there's a network issue from one of our side. I was saying thank you so much for your session. I didn't hear the last thing you said, so that's why I was just trying to pick up from where you left.
Oh
Yes.
no, I'm sorry. It must have been maybe it was a network situation from my end.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, thank you so much. I don't know if you're going to still be around. I've asked them to like share any questions they have, or do you mind if they connect with you on LinkedIn
Yeah, absolutely
or
connect
any?
with me on LinkedIn. I will stick
Okay.
around for another 20, 30 minutes. But
Okay.
yes, absolutely connect with me on LinkedIn. And thank you all
Okay.
very much.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for him, when you write them down in the Q&A, you can just say this is for Dr. Biodun, then I can call him up to answer it. And you can also connect with him on LinkedIn. Okay. We'll share their LinkedIn handles after this. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. We're going to go straight to the next session. I told you that we are also going to be, talking about data. We are going to have conversations around data today. And the next session is navigating the data space in the era of AI. We've talked about, AI and the jobs of tomorrow. So how do we now navigate, the space of data? I hear people say data is the new oil, data is the key. Everything that you're working on, it relies on data. So how do we get to navigate this data space in the AI era? And the speaker who is going to be facilitating the session is Olayemi. I'm doing my best to make sure that I pronounce things, like names like a Yoruba, but forgive me if I don't do it correctly, but I believe I'm trying. Yeah. Olayemi Awofe. Okay. He's a result-oriented business intelligence developer and data analytics engineer who has a passion for solving complex business problems using data. So we can expect to get an African perspective on how to navigate the data space. Yeah, so please welcome Olayemi, or I can just call you Yemi. I think Yemi is easier for me to say.
I believe so. Can you confirm when you can hear me and can see my video? Can you hear
Okay,
me?
yes, I can hear you, but then I
But-
see there's something on your screen. Your screen is, I don't know how to describe it. I can't
Oh,
see
can I
you.
share my
I can,
screen?
I
Am,
can
am I
hear you, but I
currently
can't
sharing my
see you.
screen?
Yes, you are. Are you?
No, I
You
am not.
are, but it's still the same thing. It's showing, your video is showing the same thing on your screen. Okay.
Can you see my screen now and can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we can't
Good
see.
evening. Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Sorry.
Um,
Sorry, is your video on? Just in case
yeah,
it's not
yes,
on, we
it's
can see.
on. It's on.
It's dark, like a black background with, that's what we
Oh,
were saying before.
let me see. So I'm currently using the one that is given to me,
Okay.
video. So please, I'm coming, please. Uh, the background should be. So can we see me now?
Okay. If you can see Yemi, say yes so that I can confirm maybe I'm the one who isn't seeing him.
Once. Let me do this. Okay, it's sharing. Gosh, just stop sharing and start sharing again. Okay. Now I see. Can you see me now? I believe you can see me now.
Yeah, upside down. Is that you upside down? Is that your face upside down?
Upside down? Is the background. I think let
No,
me
no,
just
no,
look at this. I think it's the background.
no,
Uh
no, just your face. I can see your
okay.
glasses. Okay, I can see you now. You're
Okay.
you're appearing.
Is it clear?
No, it's not. You can remove the background actually.
Okay, let me just remove the background, I think. So
Yes.
no. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, I think it was the light that was reflecting.
okay, I said, can we see me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Good evening, everyone. Oh, sorry for my background.
You stop sharing your screen.
Okay, I'll share now.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, once again. Dr. Abiodun, that's a wonderful presentation. I listened to everything. That's a very good one. So let me
Thank
just
you.
go straight because I don't want to waste any of our time. I promise I'm going to stick to time and we are going to have a wonderful conversation. I believe so, that we are going to have a wonderful conversation. So we are in one of the most transformational period in human history. I believe everybody is aware of that artificial intelligence is no longer a futuristic concept anymore, right? It's shaping the way industry, economy, our decision in real time. But today, I want to talk about something. I want us to look at it from a very different angle, which is not Silicon Valley. When they want to talk about AI, it's always Silicon Valley, China perspective and all. But today I want to talk about the concept, like it's coming from an African perspective, right? And because the AI is revolutionizing the way we work globally. And I think Africa is set aside, and I'm going to show us why I said that. So I'm ready to go to my next slide. So, okay. So I want to ask us one question, which is very, very important question. And the question is that will Africa be a consumer of AI or a creator of it, right? And before I mention that, I would like to go back to a slide that I just skipped, which is that I want us to have this in our mind that we have just less than 1% of data that is widely used to train the artificial intelligence that we are all using globally today, coming from Africa, right? Just 1%, just less than 1% data from Africa. So that's why when you try to translate an English to Yoruba, or let's say Hausa, the way it will translate it to our language, it will be somehow because they don't really have the data that they use to train this data. They use the Western data. So we want to talk about how we can make our data to be available as well, right? So that's what we are talking about today. So now let's talk about the why this conversation really matters, right? This conversation really matters because Africa cannot afford to be left behind. I mean, we are already using AI. That's true. Students use AI. Everybody use AI. Even my mom used AI, right? The world is racing towards automation and everything, right? And the nation that does not control their data, right? They cannot control their innovation, right? I mean, yeah. So every recommendation engine, fraud detection, medical AI tool, or everything is powered by data, right? And that means if we don't have a data that is peculiar to us in Africa, that is our data in Africa, right? That means we are relying on recommendation, right? The fraud detection, the way they are doing things in the Western world. That's why that means we are resting on that, right? And I think if we don't have our data, right, we cannot build solution and AI that will solve a solution for us in Africa, right? So that's that. So I'm going to go to my live slide. I mean, I'm not going to take much of our time, just like I promised, right? So the global data and AI explosion, right? So 90% of the world data was created in the last few years. This is a general knowledge for those that know, right? So it was created in the last in the last few years, right? So globally, data creation is growing at an unpredicted rate, right? So every click, every mobile transaction, every GPS movement, is generating data, right? So AI is now embedded in healthcare, diagnostics, right? Financial system, agricultural prediction. Imagine we have agricultural prediction and they use Western data for their weather to predict agricultural prediction for us in Africa. We have different weather, we have different data, right? So they are going to be predicting what is not really our problem for us, right? A security system, right? So major economies are no longer just digital first anymore. They are AI first and all those things, right? So the world is not allowing slowing down anymore, right? It's not allowing slowing down anymore. And Africa, right, we're actually trying to catch up, but I think we can still do more, which are going to be like what I want to like where we are driving to in this conversation, right? So the question before I proceed, right, is again, this is a question that you don't need to answer right now. That where do we stand in this explosion, right? Where do we currently stand? So that's where we are going to currently, right? So Africa data reality, right? Africa data reality. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? We have strength. We have the strength. Was it not yesterday, right? I was having a conversation with someone, and I mentioned it to that person that the median age for Nigeria is 18 to 19. That's our median age, right? We are we are very young nation. I'm talking about Nigeria now. Now let's think about the other African countries, right? We are very young as a nation, right? So we have the strength, we have the power, we are technically inclined, right? We have a lot of people that are technically inclined, right? So Africa have the youngest population in the world. So we are mobile first, right? We have growing tech up, right? Yes, we do that. We have in Lagos, Nairobi, Kigali, Cape Town, and so on, right? But we have the gaps. There are gaps, right? And the gaps are our data infrastructure is very weak. Like, is very weak, right? Our data sets are fragmented, right? They are all right, and data literacy is very slow. Like a lot of people don't even know what data means. I know someone that about like was it not like 5 months ago, someone asked me, what is data analysis like? What are they doing? Like, what is data analysis? A very grown-up person, right? And I'd be like, wow, you don't know what that means because it comes from an angle where we don't really utilize our data enough. I didn't mean that, okay, when we want to make decision, government wants to make decision, they are providing data, we are talking about data, this is what has happened in this time due to data and all those things, right? People will be like, what is that data? Right? We will be literate about what's the concept of data. So the whole Africa, we need to work on that, our data literacy, right? And we depend heavily on foreign built AI, just like I mentioned, right? We depend heavily on foreign built AI. Even now, what they are trying to even do now is that they are trying to subsidize the price for us in Africa. Right now, if you want to subscribe for ChatGPT Go, right? It's now 7,000 naira for Nigeria. I mean, so they are trying to even subsidize it for us, right? And I don't want to say, but I think on a bigger scale, right? What they are trying to do might be based on we have a current model that's currently running fine. So Africa will be like, oh, let's just keep using theirs, right? And at the same time, we are not really utilizing what we are supposed to be utilizing for ourselves, right? So they are building a solution for their system, for their economy, for their data, right? And we are using that solution for our own data, which is going to be like right, we are going to like get solution, but that solution is not going to be maybe it's not going to like what we actually want to really get, right? So we generate data every day. That's obvious reason. We generate data every day through our mobile payments, our social media, right? Those online, you see a lot of African talk on internet and everything, right? Our banking, we have we have fantastic banking system, our healthcare system, right? We generate data for all these things, but but we really own our own intelligence, right? That is built from our own data. That is the gap. That is the gap that we need to tap in and fill the gap, fill the vacuum, right? So let me go to the next one. So the bias, right? The bias and the problem that we have, right? So most global AI system, right? They are trained. I've been emphasizing on this because I want it to like stick with us, right? They are trained primarily on Western data, right? First of all, English dominant content, right? Western culture and context, right? Non-African social economic reality, right? Things that are not happening here, right? So now let's think about it. If AI systems are not trained on African language and dialect, medical data, financial behavior, our agricultural pattern, right? How accurate, right, can this thing work for us? How accurate, right? If your data is missing, right, your reality is actually missing as well. That's a very sound one, right? So if your data is missing, your reality as well is missing because you cannot tell, like, what do you want to use to back yourself, right? So this leads to the bias, right, and misinterpretation and under-representation of us in Africa, right? And that is not just technical problem. That is not at all. It is systemic one, right? It is systemic one. So so now I'm going to talk about something. Where are the real opportunities, right? What we need to be doing currently right now as Africa, right? So now this is where it gets exciting, right? Africa is not late. Let's have that at the back of our mind, right? We have the strength, we have the population, right? Africa is not late, right? Let me talk for Nigeria. Nigeria is not late, and Africa as a whole, we are not late, right? We are early. If we choose to build intentionally, right? If we choose to build intentionally, every company, everybody, right, wants to build intentionally, right? So AI in agriculture, right, can optimize our crop yield, right, using regional weather and soil data, right? So we use our own soil data, our weather, right, to build our own model for our own AI in Africa, right? So if we use that, right, to predict anything, right, we are predicting based on our data, things that is happening that is peculiar to us here in Africa, right? So AI in healthcare can improve how we diagnose our using local diseases pattern, right? Local things that is happening here, right? Like Ebola, right? All those kind of things, right? So, and AI in finance as well, right? Can expand the financial inclusion with smarter risk, right? Model. So that is tailored for us in Africa. That is tailored for African market, right? So, but this system must not be trained. This system, right, must be trained. I said must be trained, right, on African data. That is the opportunity, right? That's the opportunity. But we don't have the data, right? That's where we are going to next. So we don't have the data. So who are the people that now needs to make sure that this data is not available, right? This now concern everybody, like every one of us, every single one of us. This concerns us, right? So in this era of AI, right, the role of data professional is now evolving, right? It's not evolving. It's not just analyst anymore, like data analysts everywhere. That's the way we used to do it. Fun fact, I'll tell you, right? AI will do the analysis better than you right now. But what you need to focus on as a data analyst coming from Nigeria, right? That you are no longer need to be building just be building reports all the time anymore, right? Yes, report is very, very necessary. You need to do that. But you now need to build decision, right? You now need to build decision intelligent patterns, right? So you need to now be using be data literacy, right? You need to be data literate, right? In the sense that our own data in Africa, right? You are very, very much aware of it, right? So talking about engineer, right? Engineers are not just like we just want to code, we just want to connect to data, we just want to like. So now, engineer, we need to build the infrastructure. Like I have some 2, 3 companies, right, doing my research that they are now doing that in the last 2, 3 years. In the last year, during data first, right? Doing data first last year, yes. right? So we have two companies, right, where they have this issue, right? A lot of people that want to build solution for education, right, that needs Nigeria on a Nigerian new curriculum, right? We don't have the data. We search everywhere, even the Nigerian education website, right? We don't see the data there. We have to look for this data everywhere to make sure that this data is now available. So now the people that now build this repository, I'm one of them actually. We build this data to make sure that it's available, right? So people that now build this data to be available now for the curriculums now. So a lot of people are now build on this curriculum. That's what we need to be working on right now. So everybody needs to be working intentionally. It can be your side work now, where you are just doing it voluntarily. For us to be like have our data for here when we want to build things on those data, so it's available. People can now use that data instead of us having to be looking for model, pre-built model or Western data, right? So engineers are no longer just a coder, right? They are now infrastructure architects, right? So we are building the infrastructure, we are building the data repository, right? So for students, right? You are a learner, but you are not meant to be just a learner anymore, right? So you are the future for the AI architect, right? Meaning that in your schools, you make sure that you are keeping data, all those things, right? Make sure that you are data literacy, right? You make sure that you evangelize it, right? You let people know that they need to be keeping their data. Businesses that don't keep data, let them know that they need to be keeping their data. Our weather data, all those things needs to be available, right? So the key skill, right, are now data quality. We need to now make sure that our data is very, very quality. The quality is at its peak, right? So we keep our data and make sure that it's clean, it's proper, and it's accessible. Like people can access that data. We can put the data in a GitHub repository, right? It can be there. People can connect to this data and use it to build model. They will give you credit. I know there are some people, like I don't want to be mentioning it, that have been doing that now and they are getting recognition for that, right? So ethical awareness, right? Domain expertise. Now, this is when domain come into play. This is where it's not just you as data practitioner anymore, right? For everybody, CEOs, financial person, everybody now needs to be aware that, oh, in my domain, they keep data. In my domain, this data that is peculiar to my domain, and we need to keep it, right? And there should be check and balance, right? That, oh, the data is actually correct. The quality of data is very high. So now understanding of how to now collaborate with AI tools, right? So we can use those existing AI tools, right? Now feed it with our own data, right? Then model it very well to be able to like give us solution that is easy, that will be our own, that will solve our African problem, right? So AI will not replace any data professional. Let me put that in place. It will not replace you, but it will replace those that refuse to evolve, right? Those that refuse to use it. It will not replace anybody, but it will replace those that are not using it. So that means if we are not using it, if we are not data literate in Africa, it's coming to replace us. It's coming. Like AI is becoming smarter every day, right? Every single day. The reason why majority of us don't know that AI are becoming smarter every day is that majority of us are still using the free model, right? The free ChatGPT, the free other stuff. Try and pay for it and see the wonder that this AI can do. There was a time that if I want to like build something, if I want to do something, I'm writing code, I have to be going back and forth, giving instruction back and forth. Now I can give instruction, give the all things I want to do once and for all, leave my system, go, come back, and the whole thing is already built correctly, even more than better than the way I'm going to do it, right? So now what is going to be in place now is that we all now need to be data inclined. We all now need to know our data, right? To know what is happening in Africa, right? So let me go to the next slide, right? So the important question that we must now ask ourselves, right? So we must talk about the power, right? Who owns the African data, right? Who profits from it, right? So those are the questions for the industry leaders, people that have the power, they have the resources, right, to to help the African data, right, to be available, right, for people, for us to build model on top of it, right? So who regulates AI system deployed across African population? So those are the things that we need to now be talking about. These are the conversations that we need to now be having as a founder, right? So this is an idea, startup idea, right? So if governance is weak, right, AI become digital colonization, right? So it's as if it's a digital colonization now because we are still not using our own data, right? So now what we want to talk about now is that data extracted. So our data now needs to be well extracted, and now it will now create value, right? It will now create value. So, but if governance is strong, AI become digital liberation, right? So if we put governance in place, right? So who are the people in controlling these things, right? So we make it available. People now so we now put it in government app, like privacy and all those things, right? You can't just access people data like that, but privacy is in place, but this data is available. So they give access to people that want to build meaningful things on top of this data, right? So now it now become liberation for us as an Africa, right? So value created locally, right? The value that we created locally, right? So solution that we built locally, right? These are the jobs that now we now created locally as well. Because if you build correct prediction, you build correct prediction, you build correct model on top Nigeria or African agricultural data, right? That means you provide more solution to the agricultural problem, right? And the farmers, people are going to earn more, they are going to gain more, they are going to produce more, they are going to get better, right? So this is a policy and technology conversation, right? Not just a coding conversation, right? So people that matters, right? People that needs to work on this, right? Everybody is now concerned. This thing concern everybody, right? So we need to be having this conversation. We need to be having it. We need to be technically inclined and be aware, right? And be aware that we need to do what we need to do right now, right? If not, the data that's the solution, right, which they are going to like be building on is still going to be the Western data, right? So, and it's not solving our solution, right? So let's go on to the next one. So, and this is the playbook. Sorry, I'll quickly rush up because of my time. So, what we must do right now, right? So first, we invest in local data infrastructure. So if you want to write it down now, maybe you have a startup idea, you want to pick a startup idea from this. A lot of people are like 2-3 people even contacted me some days ago, right? They want to build data repository for Africa, general Nigeria for now, right? So first, we need to invest in data infrastructure, right? Where we can store our data, where our data can be, how people can access our data, right? The accessibility of data. For an example, I don't want to open my country this thing outside, but the last time that they update our unemployment rates, the Nigeria statistics, right? I think it was 3 years ago, right? And we are in 2026. How are we going to build on top of that, right? The data that are now available, right, are data that people are bringing all together. It's not even available on the government portal, right? Right. So second, right, we need to promote data literacy across industry, not just tech anymore. Across industry, agriculture, finance, healthcare, the whole industry, education, right? Third, we need to build African data set intentionally. This has to be intentionally, like we want to do it. Like we have to be so passionate about it. Like we build our health data, our finance data, our agriculture data, our language data. Like we need to capture our language data. I want to say, oh, AI, the AI that we build in Africa should be able to translate what I'm saying to EFIC, to Ibibio, to Kenya, Rwanda, to Swahili, right? They should be able to do it fluently, right? So fourth, we need to encourage collaboration between policymakers and technologists, right? So we need to encourage collaboration within the government and the people that are technical, the tech company, the tech ecosystem. They need to have the collaboration to build this data intentionally across Africa. Number 5, we need to support local AI startups that are solving African problems. Right, we need to support them. We have small, like people are actually doing so wonderful well in the AI sector in Nigeria, in Africa as a whole, right? So we need to support them. We need to let them know that what they are doing, right, is for us, that we need it, right? And we must shift from being a data consumer to data creator, right? So if we put all these 5 things that I listed before, right? So it will put us to be able to like be the data creator, not a consumer anymore, right? So we are now creating our own data by ourselves as well. So let me go to the next slide. So on my left slide, right? So imagine this. AI tool that understand Yoruba, Swahili, Amharic, Zulu, all those languages, right? So imagine AI tool that understand that. Imagine how sweet it will be when my mom, my grandma are communicating with AI in the language that they understand, which is Yoruba, right? And it's giving them answer in Yoruba fluently, right? Imagine how that is going to be like, how that is going to solve our problem, right? So in the healthcare system, right, the model is trained on Africa clinical data, right? Something that is peculiar to us, diseases that is peculiar to us, we use our own data to train that, right? So agricultural system is now designed on our own climate, African climate. We understand, we know what our climate is, our weather is, then we build data, we build the data, we generate the data, we get the data available and build model on that to provide strategic solution for the Africa, right? On our agriculture. So this is not unrealistic. It's a thing that is achievable, to be very honest. So it just depends on how we build today, right? If we don't build today, we wait for tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow, go. Like, I mean, tomorrow. If we don't build today and we wait for tomorrow, right? It's not going to be like, yeah. So let me quickly, this is my last slide, right? This is my last slide. I promise. No, this is not my last slide. You remember one. So Africa is not behind, just like I mentioned, right? We are at the decision point, right? So the AI era is here. The data space is expanding rapidly, but we need to tap from this and own our own data, right? So the future is not yet defined, right? It's not yet defined. We need until we work on it, right? So, and it will be defined by who controls the data behind it, right? And we need to control our own data in Africa. So the question is, are we ready to lead? Right? Are we ready to lead? If we are not ready to lead, I think we should be ready to lead right now. We should be ready to lead, right? And let's talk about the future that we can now currently build, right? So that's if there's any question or if there's anything that we want to add. Tabi, do I still have
Yes,
more time?
you should be wrapping up.
Okay. This is my last slide actually, but I
Okay.
just want to ask if there's any question, if there's anything, if there's
Okay.
an observation or anything that people want to ask. But my last question is that right now, after everything I've said, right, are we ready? That's what we should be asking ourselves every time now, right? By in the next few months, I want to see that, oh, I listened to Olayemi Awofe saying something about AI, how Africa needs to be their data. That's why I started generating data. That's why I started storing my data. That's why I started evangelizing data literacy around the Africa. I will be able to, I'll be very, very glad because I'm doing that. It's like I'm talking about everywhere now that I go and let them know that they need to use their data, right? So thank you. If there's anything, if there's any question or something, you can ask me if I still have more time. If not, then you can have, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Yemi. Thank you. As usual, I'm just going to tell them the same thing. If you have questions, just drop them in the Q&A and then say this is for Yemi, and then he can also respond. I see that there were questions for Dr. Biodun, which he has already answered, so it's fine. Thank you so much, Dr. Biodun. For the people who dropped the questions, please check the Q&A. You'll see the answers have been dropped there for you. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to ask again, are we learning something? Are we learning so far? Are we? An interesting thing, I just want to say that it was a very proud moment for me to hear Yemi speaking. Yemi is an alumnus of Alt School Africa. He's a data student and he was the vice president for the School of Data. And it was just a proud moment to see him, just have these conversations and talk like, he's a whole data professional now. So I'm so proud of you, Yemi. And so if you're an Alt School student watching, are you seeing alumni from Alt School Africa? Are you seeing them? They're doing well. We are so proud of you, Yemi. If you have any questions to do with data, please go to Yemi. You can find him on LinkedIn as well. Olayemi Awofe. He's always talking about this and that about data. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Once again. Without wasting time, I see we have one, two, three, or about 4 sessions left. So I just want us to quickly go into the sessions. So we have one session now, and then we'll take a maybe small water break, and then I'll continue the other sessions for the evening. And now the next session we are going to have, now we've talked about data. Now we're going to have a session where the speaker is going to be speaking to us how to become AI ready when you're not an AI company. So if you're here, you have a business, this session is for you. And if you know anybody that is in that space, you can also have them join us. Once again, thank you for uh, joining us at sTaRt Conference, 2026. This is a product of All School Africa. And I think I'm also going to quickly drop this here. I'm going to make this announcement later, but just let me say it here. If you are interested in learning a particular skill, whether data analysis, whether software engineering, whatever it is from the skills we have at All School Africa, we currently have a Valentine promo going on. So if you can use the code START26. You'll get a discount of your application fees just because you attended this conference. So yeah, we're going to be displaying that later in the screen, but I just want you to know that there's a special code you can use as someone who attended this event. You can use it to apply for any school diploma course. Okay. So thank you. So right now, I just want to quickly go and welcome Utibe. Utibe again. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I wish my colleague Darren was here. She's going to join me later. She pronounces this name so well, but I'm trying my best. Yeah. Utibe is the founder of Elisha Dev, a technology-based company in Uyo. Anyone in Uyo? Yeah, so they built custom AI-ready ERP and web platform for African organizations. When he speaks, he can tell us more about what he does and, just take us through his session. So please, over to you, TB.
Hello, please do let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, and let me know if you can see me and if you can see my screen.
Yes, can see you. You haven't started sharing your screen, I believe.
Okay,
Yes,
can you see my screen?
yes.
All right, I'm Utibe and I run an agency, an IT development and consulting agency in Uyo. We have most of our clients who are not really AI startups, but just traditional companies like schools, corporate businesses. Then you have construction firms and real estate companies. But in as much as we've worked with these companies, we realized a lot of things, and which is the reason why I am here to share what what everyone at this particular phase of their life should do with AI. whether you're a student, whether you're a designer, whether you're a product manager, whether you're an engineer, whether you're a founder, whether you're in sales, marketing, you need to be AI ready. And it's very, very important. I'm happy. So I went through day one, and I was opportunity to listen through to other speakers. I think they've said majority of what's on my slide, but I'm just going to skim through and raise some major concern that I think it's something we're going to have to look at if we must be AI ready. So it's going to be a practical session, and at the end of these events, you should be able to make the right decision and in getting yourself ready regarding AI. All right, so, okay, why does this matter? If you, like I said, I'm not going to go all through whatever each speakers have already said, but it's quite truth that AI is going to and is currently changing how we do everything in terms of work, in terms of how we ship products, in terms of how valuable our skills are. And you don't necessarily need to build AI models. All you need to do is know how to work well with AI. And I was just going through some search online. Thousands of people have lost their jobs because of AI. So when I hear questions like, will AI take our jobs? I'm like, can I be frank with you? AI is going to take your job. What do I mean? If you are in sales and you've been in sales, doing sales the traditional way, you've been in sales for 7 years, doing sales the manual way, you are running around doing this, looking for billboard, doing a lot of things, right? If you don't understand how useful AI is in your field, you're going to lose your job, because when your boss finally realizes that this thing I'm paying this guy 250,000 for or 500,000 for, or maybe one of how are you sure? And he gets exposed to how to use AI and run his company, he's going to fire you and employ an AI and pays $10 to $15 a month. And a lot of, and of course, that's going to save him a lot of money. But if you are working in his company, it means on your own, you're upgrading your skill set. You are doing all that you can to be the best you can be wherever you are. It will now be you suggesting to your boss, we can try this out. What do you think about this? And then you become very valuable to the company. So the reality, most companies, especially in Nigeria, I mean, there are a lot of companies that are not even using spreadsheets. They are not using Google. It's paper, files, paper, and everyone is cool. So in as much as there are lots of companies that are not ready in quote for what AI has to offer, you can be that one person that helps companies find the right path using AI. You tell them, oh, I can do this for you. And how did you find out? With AI. And when I listened to what the last speaker said, Yemi, he made mention of data, especially in Nigeria, we don't have the, I wrote it down, that we don't have data, not because we can't have data, but because we don't have the right culture of keeping data in the first place. So after a long while, they will now force everyone, if you are registering for JAM, you must have your name, because that is how you will be recognized. I mean, that's how they're going to look at you and then say, oh, what is the total Nigerian population? And now you like, guess what, 200 million, just here and there. So we must be intentional about how we prepare ourselves regarding AI. So from processes, so you walk into a company and all the entire workflow lives in someone's head. Data are scattered. Someone says, let's add AI to our workflow, and everything scatters. And then you hear the CEO saying, we tried AI, it didn't work. So what AI ready really means, it means you have a clear, repeatable process, structured data. You have at least one solid system that is working, and people who have a mindset of constantly learning. So I have a team of people that I work with, and I tell them, whatever you're working on, ensure that you work as smart and as fast as you're supposed to be. Don't tell me, oh, you're allergic to AI, that this is this, that it cannot give me the desired output. And I'm like, what you ask for is what you get back. So if I'm prompting an AI and I'm telling an AI, oh, I want a product requirement for this project, you need to give the AI context, one, about what the project is about, who are your audience, who are the people that are going to use the project, why are you doing what you're doing? So give it all the context, and then you'd see it think the way you think. So on my chat GPT, so I have long threads of conversations. So let's say, for instance, I want to start project A. I'll give it background details and everything. And I continue from there and tell it, oh, do this, do this, do this. A time comes where if I need anything, I go there and tell me, give me the vision, the mission for this project. And it gives it to me. Why? Because I had already given it all the information it needed to come up with whatever I need. So if your processes and your workflow is not in place, there is no way you can be AI ready. When you bring in AI, everything is going to scatter. And should I tell you that no matter how scattered your data is, that you can tell AI what to do with those kinds of data, how to arrange, oh, put this in this column, put this in this row, arrange it this way. And sometimes it may take some time, but as time goes on, and you get to realize that in the process of trying to likely taking on that project as your main project and using it, maybe calling someone or saying, please, can you help work on this project? This is the idea I have. And they can help you build out that particular project. And also, as a founder, you don't necessarily, how do I explain? You have a project you want to build. Before, years ago, you'd have to hire an engineer, give it your concept, tell it, oh, this is what you're going to have to do. Did it work this way? Oh, this is not what we meant. This is not. You can do that with AI. You can use Lovable. You can use Bolt. You can use Emergent. There are just a lot of options that can give you your MVP that you can show someone and tell, oh, this is what we are looking at. This is the idea. This is how it works. And then someone will look at it and go, it seems you know what you're doing. And we are going to have about 4 pillars. The first one is process. How works actually happens. If you don't answer these questions, how do we actually get this done? How can you draw 5 to 6 or 7 steps? Where do things usually get stuck? I understand that as Nigerians, we don't like keeping records. And which is why most companies, especially Google, they have the largest amount of data. So till tomorrow, if you ask me, who is the leading AI company, I'll tell you it's Google. Why? It's not necessarily because their AI is faster or better than other AI, but because it has access to all the data they need. And they've had those data for years. So how you arrange your processes and how you present it to the AI is what determines the outcome. And secondly, the second pillar is your data, which is your workflow memory. If you don't have any data to give the AI, or if your data is so scattered that even the AI is confused. Now, you heard what Yemi said. Most of the AI are trained with Western data. So the AI is going to look at it, and then based on the umpteen times this kind of problems have been presented to it, it would presume that you are a US company and that you're based in the US, and based on their structure or their workflow, this is how it's supposed to be. Meanwhile, you would have just given it a background. Oh, you are a data scientist or data analyst with 14 plus years of experience working with data. So the company is based in Nigeria, and in Nigeria, this is what happens, this is this, this is this. Give it context. And when you're done with your explanation, you're going to get the results that you're going to have access to is going to be so detailed that even when you could pay someone, they wouldn't have been able to give you that kind of result. So once you have once you have the right data, the right process, AI can now step in. So the third pillar is tools and systems. Don't just have files. Have trackers, use CRMs, use internal tools, and try out different things, because I'm going to say this, companies that did not easily migrate from paper to spreadsheets are going to find it very difficult to migrate from paper to AI. I'll move to the next pillar, people and simple roadmap. Like I said, ensure that if you're running a company or if you're an employee, that you position yourself in such a way that you're open to new developments. You're open to I think in 2023, when ChatGPT first came out, I think about 2023, I registered. I joined the wait list. Why? Because I was like, oh, AI, they said, oh, this was going to do, this is going to do. I signed up. So from the day one, I've been using ChatGPT. When new AI model comes up, I use them. And if you ask me, I'll tell you, oh, use this for this, use this for that. Don't use this particular one. It can give you some result, but it wouldn't give you as the other AI. So have your simple roadmap, have your workflow, have a clean data. If your data is not clean, you can make it clean with AI. You can give it to Claude, which is, of course, the leading data AI at the moment, based on their recent model. Add a small AI helper, move it into a system. So once you have this, once you now do it repeatedly, you get to realize that it's far simpler than you thought. One of the speakers in today's session said that they had halted the replacement of automatic fuel machines. And the question is, will people lose their job? Yes. If I was a field attendant, well, this is what I would do. I'll go online, watch all the YouTube, watch all the resources there is regarding an automated pump, and come to my boss and tell him, oh, did you know that this can happen, that this is this? What that does for you is, if eventually it becomes a law and your company doesn't have any choice but to replace all their pumps, your boss is going to say, hey, come. That thing you said that time, what were you saying? So you become more relevant. And I'll move on to the 5 ways you can add AI readiness value to yourself. You can, one, make sure you have key processes, have clean data sets, help your teams. If you're a founder, if you're a CEO, and if you work with companies and you manage people, ensure that you expose your team to use the smartest tool to beat whatever complex project or requirement or task you have for them. One is going to make them smarter, it's going to help get them prepared for whatever role they want to get involved in. And document the before and after. Nigerians, Africans, please have records. Have it. You can. There was a reason why there is that note app on your phone or on your laptop. Use it. Write it down. Take pictures, because one day you're going to need it. So, example of mini projects you can do. You have your process ready. You have all your data. You can use tools like Trello, Jira, Notion, and then you bring in ChatGPT, Claude. I mean, there are other open sources. There's DeepSeek. Make use of what you have. Now, before you go into paying for AI subscription, use the free one first and understand how it works. Hit the limit multiple times, and ensure that it is that you have a real need for why you need to have a subscription. And if or when your boss, or if you're working for a company and you tell them, oh, we really need this, but we can't have access to it, they're like, well, how come? Why do you often we give you a task that's supposed to take like an hour, and you're done in 10 minutes? How? You're like, oh, this is this, and then, but I just need a subscription, and they're like, oh, there's no problem. We're going to do that for you. So ensure that all your processes work and keep it minimal, and ensure that you do it repeatedly. So I wouldn't advise a company who has not been exposed to spreadsheet or Excel to say, oh, change your entire workflow, bring in AI. No, the entire team is going to crash. The company is going to crash. Start small, iterate, move. Okay, sorry. If you're updating your content and you're beginning to use AI, you can start with that. And in the long run, you get to realize that AI can be way, way more useful. And please, warning, don't tell AI everything. Don't put all the data you have in AI, right? Just know that everything you tell AI, you give it, whatever you feed it with, it has it. Even if it tells you, oh, I don't have access to your data. Anyways, it keeps training, it keeps learning. So don't give it sensitive information. Don't pack, because you want your company to be AI ready, you pack all confidential data and files and put it into ChatGPT. Please, if you get sacked, it's not from me. So ensure that you run a simple AI readiness check. Show companies where they have messy and where you can come in. So I think this is where, if you're not doing anything or if you're a student, you can help companies know that they need help. And you don't need to be a big data person or a big content person. All you need to do is go to your ChatGPT. Oh, this is the company, give it all the details. Oh, this is what this company does. And they don't have this, they don't have this. I want you to draft something for me, something I can give to this company. And then you carry it and then you give it to them. You'd be shocked that the company will tell you, oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We've been spending a lot of money since you are here, how can we show us the way? And if you don't have the technical skill to implement whatever, you can bring in a third-party partner, and those partners can actually pay you for referrals. So if you're using a company, it's called Alice Hub Dev, will give you between 5 to 10%, and you can become our on-ground partners. So all you need to do is walk up. For some of you, you have uncles that are running companies. Walk up to them and tell them, I know that every time I come to you, I'm always asking for something, right? There is a reason why I came, and I will know that your company would need this. Do you want to go through it? And if you want a team to be on the call to convince your boss or your uncle that this is what they need, we can always schedule a call and tell you, oh, let's see how it goes. And then our marketing team will reach out. And you would get to realize that it was, so without you even having to do anything, you can make a lot of money. And there are some companies that are willing to pay a lot of money for the solution you're willing to offer, if you can, but just try. So we had already talked about process, ensure that your processes are clear, data, your tools, and the people. Sorry. How to position yourself. Like I just talked about this. So I think you can have a 7-day personal action plan, map a road, do a research, go online. If you're on Twitter or X, you can use Grok. Tell it, oh, and give me a list of companies that have complained or they have been complaining about their services. So it's going to list it out for you. So already you have a well-defined data, and then you tell Grok, I think this is what you're going to do. See this, I want to tell me more about this company. And it's going to go through their Twitter, their X feed, and give you reasonable data that you can work with. And then put all the data in one place, decide what tools that you're going to use, and then tell the AI, oh, drop a proposal, do this, make this, and before you know it, what could have taken 1 month, you are done in 1 or 2 days, depending on how literate you are with AI. So, recap. The focus on processes. Make sure your data, your tools, the people you work with, start small and make sure you start now. I was in a conference, I think that was last year, and we've built a lot of projects, both custom and general projects for companies within Nigeria, outside Nigeria, South Africa, Canada, US, almost everywhere. But here's the thing, we are currently working on about 5 to 7 projects at the moment. One for US-based startup, and it's AI. Sorry, I'm not going to share more details, right? So we are building an AI startup for a US company. Now, how did we get there? Once you understand your workflow, you understand that, oh, as technology changes, that you should also adapt. Else, nobody's going to listen to you. They're going to ask you, what have you done? What can you do? Let us see what you've done. Start from there. And guess what? When I've been building since 2017, right? And when I started, I would give free projects. I would do it for free. Why? Because I needed the portfolio to be able to walk up to someone and tell, this is what I can do, this is what I can do. They would be like, show me what you can do. And you show them. So with AI, the work is easier. If you want to go into content creation, you have AI. You can draw up your script, draw up your plans. You can have 30 days of content in 1 day. So, and in the course of my interaction with one of our clients, the person was saying that, I mean, a big government organization or company in Nigeria, that their data is that he doesn't even know if they have a CPU. I was shocked because if a company or an organization that large cannot or does not have access to the necessary tools it needs to organize all its workflow, that's why you go to places, you go to organizations and they tell you, oh, we can't see your file, we can't see this. Oh, sorry, you're going to have to apply again. And after you applied again, you don't still find your file. So ensure that you are AI ready. 2026, tell yourself, I must be AI ready. Whether if you're in school, it is the best opportunity. Learn a skill. Put AI along, carry it along. Oh, what the course I'm reading, will I really use it? If you're not going to use it, you can do something else. I'm a graduate of electrical electronics engineering, and I haven't used it. I haven't used it since I dropped it. I haven't used any. And I don't think I may, hopefully. But the idea is understand why you need AI. AI will replace you if you are not doing the right thing. If you keep running away from AI, it's going to replace you. If you don't know what you're doing, if the skill you are learning, you're like, I'm just learning this skill. They say if you learn how to just design, learn and be good at it, but then bring in AI. Ensure that your workflow is simple, but tell people what they need to know. Submit proposals, sell yourself. Well, personally, I'm not a big fan of, updating this, this is this, we just did this. Why? Because personally, most of my clients have been from referrals. So all I need to do is put in my effort to ensure that I give my best to the project, knowing fully well that I am always being referred to. So do the work, do it properly, do it faster with AI. You have everything you can ever need. And mind you, AI is going to be whatever we have access to at the moment. It's a tip in the iceberg compared to whatever is coming. So it's either you are an AI user or you are someone that really uses AI for your career. Everyone cannot be founders. Everyone cannot be CEOs. There's still going to be people who are relevant. No matter how Google fires their employees, there are some group of people that they cannot fire. You know why? Because if they fire them, companies like X, Tesla, they are going to employ them and pay them, give them more offers, right? So I believe that with these few points that should help us get around to being prepared and being ready for the future. And the future, by that, I mean in a few months. Because who knows, in the next 2 weeks, there will be another groundbreaking AI, which other AI companies and models will have to. So it's a competition. So find yourself in that competition, make a good use out of it. Africa, we are at the ripest. And the more we listen and we implement and improve our work culture, the more we are going to be able to have access to great tools and AI that we can use. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Atibe. That was really informative. We really appreciate you. As usual, everyone, if you have questions, you can drop them in the Q&A, and while he's still around, he can answer them. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I see that we are spent on time. So I'm going to quickly also invite the next speaker. Again, I hope that we are learning. And just a reminder for those who want to apply to Outschool Africa, I'm going to drop the code on the chat. I believe this is the right code. Yes, this is the right code. START 26. So if you want to apply for any of the program, you can take advantage of the Valentine discount code START 26. It's just START, like just write START and then add 26 to it, and then you'll have access. You can also refer people. So if you're already an Altschooler, you can just refer the people. Log into Altschool Africa portal. We have an ANT section there. You go there, you give people your link, and as people apply and register, you also get to earn a discount while at it. So moving on quickly to the next speaker. Our next speaker is going to be speaking to us about architecting the backbone of scalable intelligence. We are hearing a lot of intelligence. We're hearing about data here. And our speaker is a data engineer currently leading Kenya's national financial data structure at the Central Bank of Kenya. I feel so honored because I have somebody from my country as well. So please help me welcome Simeon Kengere, data engineer at Central Bank of Kenya.
Hi. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning from wherever you are. Thank you, Tabby. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Let me just get my slides up.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Okay, I think it's coming up. Oh, yes.
Okay. So, good evening once again. I'd like to first of all take this chance to thank the Alt School team and Tabitha for this opportunity. I know we all have our own schedules, and us as Alt School deciding to or choosing to be in this meeting means a lot to me, and I hope we can all learn a thing or two from this presentation. So I'm just gonna jump straight in, architecting the backbone. So I think this topic is a bit too technical. So what we're going to be talking about in a simplified way is let us assume we are living in a world where we are founders. Let's assume you're a founder, you have your own company X, and you want to be AI fast, you want to be AI ready. You have done your research, you have your data, you have everything. Now you just want to incorporate AI in your startup. Where do you start? How do you go about it? And I think this is important because there's a right way and there's a wrong way to do it. And I think that we will be able to learn a thing or two, and I hope I'll be able to make myself clear. But in case of any questions, you can always ask. So about me, just as Tabia said, I'm Simeon Osemo. I'm a data engineer at the Central Bank. I have a bachelor's and master's from the University of Nairobi. I'm AWS certified. Yeah, I love hiking and traveling, and I build engines in the financial sector that make sure that the data is accurate, reliable, and valid. So enough about me. Let's get into the details. The reality check. When you open the news, when you open YouTube, Twitter, wherever, name it, you always see news surrounding AI. You see new models. You see Gemini competing with ChatGPT. You see Anthropic being the best in coding. You see DeepSeek and other Chinese models. You see variants of these models like Cookie AI. You see a lot of buzz around AI and AI models. And I would like for us to see what is, I'd just like to bring us, all of us, to this on the same page. And the moment we're in right now, we have chatbots everywhere. They are giving shiny dashboards to investors. They're giving people what they want very fast. We have companies that are AI fast. There are companies that are using the latest technologies. But behind all this, we have the quiet truth that most people don't talk about, where companies that are AI fast, that use the latest technologies, they quietly die. And not because of the models are perfectly fine, the models work as expected, but the problem is more inclined to the human side, which is the data and the way we feed these models data. And I'd like us to talk about why this, sorry. Excuse me, Tabitha, just give me 5 seconds.
Okay. Not a problem. Not a problem. Okay, Femi says link to the website. Okay, the website is outschoolafrica.com. Just as simple as that. outschoolafrica.com. So when you go there, you can see the different courses, and then you apply for the one that you want to.
Okay, sorry about that hiccup. Okay, so we're talking about AI, the reality check. Now let's talk about why this. Let's talk about why AI projects fail. I'd like us to, first of all, before talking about why the projects fail, let's look at a story that I will use to help us understand some of the points which I will discuss in future slides. So we had this incident. It's in the news. A couple of years back or months, where we had an airline that where its customers would book for flights using a chatbot. So a certain customer, let's call him customer X, he had some sort of special emergency where, and this special emergency could give him a discount from the airline. So the guy went ahead to the website of this airline and came across the chatbot. He talked to the chatbot for a bit, and the chatbot told the guy that actually the guy asked the chatbot if he could apply for a ticket and get a discount based on his special condition. So because the guy was in a rush, he asked the chatbot if he could apply for the discount after the flight. The chatbot told the person, yes, he could. But in reality, or rather, according to the airline's policy, you could not apply for a discount after your flight. Rather, you're supposed to apply for a discount before your flight. So there was a technical glitch on the chatbot side. And the guy flew, he went, he came back, and when he applied for the discount as the chatbot told him he could, the airline declined to give him his discount. And they ended up in court. And this is what I'd like us to think about, because this airline, when they were taken to court, they argued that the chatbot is a separate legal entity. Whoa, everyone was shocked for a minute there. What do you mean your own chatbot is a separate legal entity, yet it's your own? So one thing led to the other, and eventually the airline had to pay the guy the money, the discount back. Yeah, so that's how it ended. But you can read more on it on BBC. There's a link for you if you wish to read more on it. And I'd like us to think about this as we talk about AI and scalability. So I want us to look at the failure routes. Why would having an AI first company or an AI first solution or using the latest technology, why would we fail, or in which situation would we fail? And the first one is data contradicts itself. Look at the chatbot from this airline. It was giving one story, but in reality, there was another story that the chatbot did not know, and it ended up contradicting itself. And this leads to, I think after this story broke out, no one could trust this chatbot anymore from this airline. So I guess people would prefer now to interact with a more safer place, like talking with real humans rather than the chatbot itself, because no one trusted it. And why did no one trust it? Because the chatbot had no clear lineage. What do I mean? Ideally, when you have your own chatbot or AI or whatever solution that is AI first, you need to be able to trace back where the AI got its data from. I ask an AI a question, it gives me an answer. I need to know, where did this AI get this answer from? Can I fact check it? And I think this is where this airline failed to implement. Another thing is data arriving late. I want us to think of a different example. Assume you have your own bank account and you want to buy something from overseas, and the account you're making a payment to is a fraudulent account, and it's a well-known fraudulent account, and your bank knows this account you're transacting with is fraudulent. Ideally, your bank should be able to notify you that, hey, with this account you're transacting with is fraudulent and they'll probably steal your money, and therefore it's not a good idea. It's probably not a good idea to be transacting here. But that data, such information would be useful to you before making such a transaction. Rather, if you made such a transaction, if the bank notified you rather after you've made the transaction, that information would not be as useful as if you are notified before making the transaction. So you see the concept of data coming to you when it's necessary is also a key point as to making your models work or not work. And what does AI do in such an environment where you have data contradicting itself, no clear lineage, and data arriving late? AI, it amplifies inconsistencies, and it just gets more confident in hallucinating. And at the end of it all, you lose trust. No one will want to use your AI first solution that is the latest in the market and that no one else has implemented. Okay, so I'd like us to look at something, and the hierarchy of needs. Don't think about this as something too technical. We're just going to go through it step by step. So we have AI applications or LLMs. This is where this is actually where everyone wants to be. Everyone wants to say, my company or my startup is AI ready. It's AI fast. We're using the latest ChatGPT. We're using the latest Claude. But in order to get there, you need to pass through layers. we have layers underneath that if you overlook, you might end up messing up. And we have an access layer, which we'll talk about. Below it, we have governance, and let me just move we have governance and reliability. Below it, we have data ingestion and storage. And I'd like for each and every one of you to think of this like a pyramid, where at the top, we have AI applications and LLMs. This is where everyone wants to be. But actually, no one wants to go through all these layers. You need to go through the access layer, governance layer, data ingestion, and storage layer. Let's look at this step by step. We have the foundation. If you have your own startup, you want to be AI fast, you want to be AI ready, you want to look flashy, you want to have that customer trust. You can't just start from the top. You have to start from the bottom. Data ingestion and storage. You have to, okay, in this layer, in the foundation layer, in the data ingestion and storage layer, this is where your data comes in. This is where your data comes and feeds your AI model. Remember, we said the AI models are not the problem. The problem is the data they receive. So this is the starting point. If you want your company to be AI ready or AI fast, as a startup founder or founder, whoever you want to be in future, you need to think about data ingestion and storage. And what do I mean by this? We have various types of data. We have streaming data. This is data that comes in real time. This is data that you would need. For example, think about the example we were talking about, the bank transaction fraud. Data coming in real time. You're transacting right now. I want to know right now that I'm transacting with a legitimate account or with a fraudster. I want to know as I'm doing it. And that is data that is coming in real time. But in the technical world, we say real time or near real time data, that is streaming data. Then we have batch data. This is data that's not necessarily needed in real time. And you can make decisions on batch data after it's not really needed in real time. And we have structured and unstructured data. Just think of structured data like data in SQL or data in Excel. Think of unstructured data as blogs, emails, videos, photos. All this data is there are types of data that you feed your AI model to make decisions for yourself, for your company, for your customers. This is the starting point. And also we have historical and real-time data. Remember, if your AI is late, AI just keeps on hallucinating. And you don't want your AI model to hallucinate. You don't want to lose customer trust. You want to retain as much customers as possible. So you have to make sure your data part, your data ingestion and storage part for your solution, for your company, for whatever you're coming up with, make sure the data part is ready. And after you've made sure the data part is ready, then we come to the boring part. No one ever wants to talk about this, and it's the hard truth, but it must be said. It's boring, but it's the truth. We must face it. We must face reality, and we must face it head on. Governance, quality, and trust. Your data must be GDPR compliant. Your data must be HIPAA compliant if you're dealing with health data. Your data must be valid. Your data must have a clear lineage. If your model says XYZ, you must be able to backtrack. Was my model hallucinating? Where did my model get this fact from? Can I validate it? We also need to have policies in place. Oops, sorry about that. We need to have policies in place, policies dealing with how we manage the data that we train the model with, how we validate the output, safety. We don't want to give our model information that could potentially cause harm. We need to make sure the data has some sort of human supervision. And I think each and every one of you might have interacted with during interactions with ChatGPT, sometimes it gives you two types of responses and it asks you, which response do you prefer? I think some of you might have interacted with ChatGPT in such a way that is, I just want you to know that that is a form of human oversight. Where it wants to know which answer do you prefer between A and B. That is a governance part of it. And another one, all this validation, lineage, policies, governance, it helps mitigate risk. It helps mitigate biasness, where the model prefers certain outputs over others. It helps mitigate privacy violations, and it helps mitigate unintended consequences. The third layer. So I hope the second layer, which is the boring part, we really need to get that right. We really need to make sure the model is valid, it has clear lineage, we have clear policies, and this will help us to build trust. The third layer, now we're nearing the top. We have access layers, and in access layers, you have things like feature stores. So feature stores, I just want us to think of it like you're giving an input to a model. This model will look at the input and try to match it to data that was used during its training. We want to make sure that the data that the AI is using during its training is of such a good quality, such that if any user gives it any sort of input, it can be able to give a high quality output. Another one, vector databases. Ideally, when you write a prompt to your ChatGPT, Claude, whatever it is, and you hit enter or you hit send, ChatGPT doesn't interpret whatever you're writing as words. It has to translate it to some sort of mathematical numbers that is machine. Let me just, for lack of a better word, let me just say that is machine readable. The same way you code the same way you code in Python, JavaScript, whatever language, that language is transformed to machine code that the computer can understand and therefore return an output depending on what you're programming. This is the same concept applies in vector databases. We have semantic index. It helps the AI understand whatever you mean. When you say bank, do you mean bank where you keep money, or do you mean river bank besides the river? When you say light, this will help the AI understand, do you mean light like the light illuminating from a screen, or light something that's not heavy? These are some of the elements of AI we need to look into. And of course, low latency APIs, we need to make sure that the layer between the user input, whatever you type, and the point to which it gets to the models, it's very fast. We want to make sure we're delivering fast solutions to our customers or whoever you're selling to. The layer 4, the summit, the top. Now we're at the top. We have reached where everyone now is saying we are AI ready. This is now where everyone is. But no one talks about the other three layers, where we have the data ingestion, governance, the access layer. Everyone is here. Everyone's talking about chatbots. We have AI, Claude, but really, we don't really think about what happens behind the scenes. Everyone is talking about fraud detection. Oh, you have a model that can predict something, or you have a model that can predict fraud, but you don't talk about what really happens at the back end. And I think this is the flashy place. This is the point where everyone likes to hear, everyone likes to talk about. Forecasting, you have a model that can predict future sales or whatever, or it is you wish to predict. We have decision support. You have a model that can help you make decisions. At this layer, it's really more of a finished product. What really carries this layer is whatever that's behind it: governance, data ingestion, how the data comes in, how relevant is the data, where is the data stored. Yeah, and now I'd like to talk about something that it's not really a war story, but it's just a conversation between batch versus real-time data. In the old world, and I don't want to say old world alone, this also happens in the present day. We have ETL overnight. ETL is short for extract, transform, load. You have some operations happening in bulk overnight. Then in the morning, you have your results, and then you make decisions based on those results. That is how it used to happen in the old world, and also it still happens now. But with advancements in technology, we have some new techniques that have come up. This includes streaming pipelines, data that comes in real time. You have to make sure. Okay, this talks about making sure your AI can see data as it comes in. When my AI sees data X right now, can it make a decision based on that data right now? Continuous validation, decisions as events happen. It is all about making decisions in real time. Think about the banking fraud example I gave. Your AI bank application can be able to know this is fraud as you're making a transaction before you make the payment. You already have your facts straight. You've already identified this is fraud, and you've notified your client or your customer. Yeah, and let's talk about why AI needs real-time data. Because fraud is immediate. You never know whenever you're being scammed. These things happen. You never know. You could be a victim, and having real-time data would help to mitigate some fraud. And risk compounds fast. If you have data that you're sitting on, that you're processing overnight, and that you want to make a decision in the morning, the time between now and morning is very long. And if the data you're sitting on is risky and it has some risk factor to it, you end up risking your reputation as a company, or as your startup, or as whoever you're working for or you're working with. Users expect now, not later. I'm sure all of us, if you whatever it is you're trying to achieve, if you have a task, an assignment, you want results now. You don't want to wait overnight for some processing to be done, or whatever it is you wish to do. You want decisions now. So this is why we need real-time data. And as a universal lesson, AI systems are only as intelligent as the freshness and reliability of the data they see. Just what this point is saying is if you think, or if you believe your customers or the company you're working for, its clients, if you believe they deserve real-time data, give them that. If you feel like the data that your company or your startup is sitting on does not need real-time data, you could wait and have it processed overnight. What this means. Hello, Tabi, can you hear me?
Yes. We
Oh,
should
you
be
call.
ready for the next speaker, yes.
Okay. What this means, we have same patterns but different industries. In healthcare, if you have delayed records, you have unsafe predictions. And in e-commerce, If you have stale inventory, you're gonna have bad recommendations. And regulation forces discipline, but AI punishes the lack of it everywhere. And that is the end of my presentation. I hope we have learned a thing or two. Thank you, and over to you, Tabitha.
All
All
right,
right.
thank you so much. Okay, tell me, should I take it or?
Please go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Simeon, for an amazing presentation. I can see everyone is already giving you your flowers and clapping. Thank you so much for um that detailed. I would say it was very detailed, and I love the, like Emmanuel said in the chat box, I love the way you got to break down all the concepts and the different things that were explained as well for the backbone for a scalable intelligence. Thank you so much. So I think because of time, we'll be taking Chidima. Hi, Chidima. Are you ready for us? So Chidima is a software engineer and data analyst who helps businesses leverage AI, automation, and data-driven strategies to scale, improve customer retention, and increase revenue. She's the founder of Vodotech, a technology solution company that builds efficient systems for SMEs and startups, and the founder of Market Zero, a marketplace and logistics branding, simplifying and shopping online delivery. So today she's going to be talking to us about how to move from lost to loyal using AI to retain customers and grow revenue. All right. Hi, Chidima. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, the floor
Fine.
is
Thank
yours.
you.
I'm sure everyone
Yeah.
here is excited to know about how to move from lost to loyal. And for sorry, just so before you come in, there's also another consecutive session that's going to be happening right now, guys. So if for those that are interested in job starting your development career with WordPress, and other CMS, there's another session happening. You should have gotten the link. Please check your email, check your spam or your promotions. If you're interested in that session, you should be able to join. But this session is for those that are interested in how to use AI to retain customers. And I'm sure we're all excited to learn from Chidima today. So Chidima, the floor is yours. Take us away.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you once again, Old School Africa, for having me. So my name is Chidima Iberaise, all protocol observed. So today I will be, telling us how you you can retain your customers using AI tools. All right. As a data analyst and a software engineer, I've worked with business owners that have struggled with customer loss. Okay. And I've seen how the right data with AI tools can actually turn things around. So during my analysis on the said business ventures, I noticed few things that went wrong. And those things are what I will be teaching us in this session. So I found out that the said brand didn't have fast customer service support. All right. Again, they didn't integrate like a predictive tool to help them find out when customers are losing interest in their products. I also found out that there were no um, personalized experience from their workflow. So they were sending random promotions, and those promotions were not hitting the targets. I also found other things, but let's move to the better parts. Why customers leave um, brands? Why businesses lose customers? So one they don't understand customers, okay? Judging from what I found out, they really don't understand what customers actually need at that point in time. And let me state that, okay, is more expensive. It costs 5 times more to chase new customers than to retain existing ones. So you can see that retention in business is very important, is a growth strategy that smart business owners are incorporating now. And you cannot talk of smart workflows without mentioning AI tools. All right. So that's, also amplifies why we are discussing this topic. Okay. How to use AI tools to retain your customers and keep them loyal. So we're going to be looking at tools that would help businesses, okay, retain customers. All right. So we understand that AI tools help in so many ways. Okay, for this purpose, for a business setting, all right, we have several AI tools that would that could help understand customers' behavior. All right. It will, when integrated properly, they can tell you the behavioral pattern of the said customers. So, and that helps you as a business owner to know what to do to, do that early before they leave your brand. So they help you understand better. Okay. They also help you to predict behavior, as I said. Okay. And they also AI tools that help you businesses respond faster. Okay. And we also have AI tools that make smarter and better decisions for us. We're going to be looking at those tools as we progress. Now, we have some AI tools that can help us in these problems that I've mentioned. So for fast customer support, if you look at WhatsApp AI for business, they help you to send fast messages to your customers. So, these days, customers don't like waiting. They don't like to waste time. Imagine a customer sending you a message on WhatsApp and after 2 days, no replies. What would be the customer would move on. But if you integrate, as a business owner, you integrate a WhatsApp, like an AI tool that could help you send fast messages, you know, um, on your behalf, that would build trust. And that one customer is a plus for your brand. Instead of paying extra to get a new one, you're retaining the one that you already have. So that one customer is a big plus to your brand. We also have another AI tool that makes customers feel heard. You don't um, send random promotions in terms of for brands that run ads on social media. So we have AI tools that helps to, find out the right ad you should go for, the one that conversing to spend less in marketing and adverts. So it's a big plus for a business that integrate these AI tools into their workflows. So MailChimp AI is one of those tools that help you send personalized messages to customers. They know the behavior of, you don't need to worry about how it works from the back end. All you need to do is to get the subscription and make sure it's properly integrated into your business workflows. And from there, you don't have to bother. It will do the work, it knows how to do best. So it helps your customers receive personalized message. So customers feel heard. They feel, oh, this is not a random promotion. This is actually what I need. So they crawl customers' activities online, and they know the right message to send at a particular time. So MailChimp AI is one of those tools that, could help your business in that regards. The next one is an AI tool for prediction. We have Zoho and we have Hotspots AI. Those ones, they predict when a customer is losing interest in your products. So these AI tools monitors when a customer is actually losing interest in your products. They've been trained, right? These AI tools have been trained, so they know how to predict when a customer wants to leave your brand. So it helps you as a business owner to catch them early, either by sending them promotional content or sending a random maybe message to, keep them, with you. All right. So for predictive AI to look at Zoho and look at Hotspot AI. Then we have another AI tool that helps in marketing, Google Analytics AI. This is a tool that helps send reports on the right ads to go for, the one that converts the most. So you don't spend so much money running ads that would not convert. So if you're looking to integrate a marketing tool that will help you note the ads that would do well and the content that would do well, you need to integrate Google Analytics AI tool. So let's look at common mistakes that business owners, do with AI. So some of these business owners, all right, they have data actually, but they don't use this data. All right, it's a common mistake with business owners. They indirectly have this data in their system, but they don't know what to do with the data. And this is where they need to either employ the services of a data analyst or a business analyst to help them make use of the data they already have. So it's a common mistake seen in business setups. The next mistake that is very obvious is no clear strategy. Some business owners don't have a clear plan on what the goal or the objective of the business for, either maybe for a year, for 3 months, for the month, for the week, for the day. They just go with the flow. So this is a common mistake found. Okay. The next mistake is lack of technical staff trainings. Some business owners, even when they have all these workflows integrated, they still employ staff members that don't even know how to use all these tools. So why employing people that cannot use the tools or the, whatever that you're using for your business is a big problem. So we need to, look at that when setting up our business. Then the next one is delay adoption. So some business owners are scared of technology. So when they hear AI, they feel they are already scared. Okay. It's a big problem. They are scared. They are afraid of AI. They don't trust AI to do anything for them. Okay, so we have opinions from everyone what AI is doing and what is not doing. So, but we should always look at the the costs and benefits of these technologies. We have seen how people that have used these tools are actually doing well. So instead of doing a particular work that you that AI can handle for you in seconds, you want to manually do that same task for 1 week. It's time, draining, and there is no efficiency in that, flow. So AI adoption is, it's something that is no longer optional. AI skills are no longer optional, whether you're a student, whether you're a business person, whether you're a founder, or even someone who is not in the tech ecosystem, you need to learn these skills. All right. Um, so let's look at some of the few tools that you can start with, you know, as someone who is just hearing about these things for the first time. It's not advisable for you to start all at once, start using all the tools at once. You can start with one, two, or maybe three. Then as time progresses, you can upgrade, you can, start adding more tools to other ones that you have learned. So I would advise that, okay, for, you know, for someone who is just starting, the ChatGPT is obviously the one that everyone is for content, right? Notion AI is for workflows. Okay, you use Notion for to organize your workflow and tasks within your organization. All right. So next one is Zapier. We have Zapier. Zapier is for automations. Google Analytics AI tool is for automations. You use it to automate tasks so that you don't have to be doing you don't have to be doing work like manually. You have an AI tool that will help you, factor these things and do them for you while you focus on other important things like decision making or other important things. So the next one is WhatsApp AI. WhatsApp Business AI is for messagings and conversations. So you may not have the time to start replying everyone on WhatsApp, but when you integrate these two, at least the person chatting you will know that, oh, the WhatsApp number is actually active. Okay. Even if um they know that, okay, this is WhatsApp AI, but you as the owner, you can still come back later to, continue from where that stops. Okay, so that brings us to this next um, page, which is call to action. So what are you going to do with all of these things that we have just discussed? So what are you going to do with all these things that we have just discussed? Your customers are already paying. They're already, telling you what they want. They are telling you what they want through data. They are telling you what they want through feedbacks. They are telling you what they want through behavior. Okay. AI helps you to listen faster. All right. So pick one tool and try it. Use it, learn from it, keep improving on them. Okay. And that one step can actually sorry, that one step can actually change your business. You know, if you listen to your customers and use AI wisely, they will stay with you. If you use AI tools, if you integrate all these tools into your business workflows and you listen to them, okay, listen to them wisely, they will stay with you. When they stay with you, it means you have retained them and you don't have, there won't be need for you to, spend extra money getting new customers, running ads, to get new customers. These existing customers, they already trust your brand. It's just a little effort that you just have to put in place to keep them, all right? Because we have other brands also looking for them. So if you put in this work by integrating these AI tools into your business workflows, you will find out that you will scale, your business will improve, and you would record a greater business goals. All right. So in closing, if you listen to your customer and use AI wisely, they will stay with you. So this brings us to the end of my presentation. Please, if you have any question, use the chats. So thank you everyone. Hope
Thank you so
this would, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Chidima. Thank you. Thank you for your time and for your great presentation. I hope the business owners that are here, people with businesses, have been able to learn one or two things from, or with small businesses, I've been able to hear one or two things. Basically, if you listen to the presentation, she was actually listing out tools and AI tools that can actually help you, right? And I hope we're noting things down and, maybe going to do our research so that we can learn from some of these tools and start applying them in our day-to-day activities, and so that they can help us as well actually be a lot more productive with our business and do things faster, because running a business, as we all know, is not easy, right? It's not an easy task. So you want to actually take things off your hands. You want to make things easier for you, right, guys? So I hope we have been able to learn one or two things from today's session. Thank you everyone for attending. If you learned something, please make sure you remember to tag us on social media, use the hashtags. The hashtags are let's start conference 2026. Make sure to use them on social media. And also, I don't know if Tabby mentioned this earlier, but this Valentine and also for in honor of START conference, we're giving out 20% off your application fee for all of our diploma programs. So if you have a friend or know someone that wants to start learning with Old School Africa, please let them know there is currently a 20% discount that will be on to the end of this week by using the code START26. Refer your friends, your family, your cousin, your uncle, your auntie, anybody that has been saying they want to get into tech, right? You still need to actually learn some tech skills so that you can now apply it into learning. You can now apply AI and use it while you get a job and many more. But I hope today's session has been, or today's sessions, because we had multiple sessions, have been interesting. Let's give a thumbs up. Let me know if you guys enjoyed today's sessions as well, if you had fun. Like we try, I think today we did better than yesterday, right? So we're going to be ending today's session a lot earlier, which is by like 8:16, right? So please make sure we hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the grand finale of START conference, the final day. And we can't wait to see everyone. There are going to be other exciting speakers that are going to talk to us about different things. You should get the schedule and all the information that you need in your email. If you also missed day one, the recording is also available as well. That we had amazing speakers, Emmanuel Faith, different speakers and interesting people as well came in yesterday. So if you want to learn how to do certain things, please, you can always watch it. It's on our YouTube, and you can also just reach out to, if maybe you didn't get it via email, you can reach out to me or us, community@allschoolafrica.com, and we'll be happy to share the recording to some of the sessions as well. But thank you everyone for your time. Thank you to everyone that stayed to the very end. I can still see Chidima and Simeon here. Thank you so much for your time. Really, really appreciate you speakers as well for taking our time to be here today. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Have an amazing evening, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye.